In this video, we're going to take a look at meta prompts to rewrite the original prompt for a given task, and we will evaluate the efficiency of each model's performance on rewriting a simple prompt to better suit the task. Some interesting results emerge. So we will be downloading some news articles from BBC, and we will be writing a summary of it using the simple prompt, just a simple summarization prompt. And then we will have a meta prompt to get O1 Preview, O1 Mini, 4.0, and 4.0 Mini to write a better prompt to better explain how to summarize to the model. And we will use GPT-4o to generate the summaries and then to evaluate. And if you take a look at this, some interesting results emerge. For example, O1 Preview does not always generate the best prompt, actually, but most of the time it's doing very good. For completeness, actually, the prompt that was generated with O1 Preview was the best one, which is the orange. O1 Mini, actually, most of the time lags behind GPT-4o when GPT-4o rewrites the prompt using its meta prompt. Actually, it seems to perform the best. And we have seen this when OpenAI released that the writing style of GPT-4o was preferred over these reasoning models. And 4o Mini doesn't do that bad as well, which is the purple one right here. A simple prompt almost always lags behind the rewritten prompts based on a meta prompt. But except in Clarity, I've run this several times, and in Clarity, it actually, the simple prompt ends up being better. So this is from OpenAI's cookbook, and the code files for this will be available for free at my Patreon. Link will be in the description or in the comment. We will be reviewing the code, however, but you can download it by becoming a free member, no charge. So we will be reviewing the meta prompting with eval, how to get the O1 Preview to rewrite a prompt, and then get the summaries and evaluate it. And also we will take a look at another file, which is multi-eval, where we will be generating actually with the meta prompt generation, the meta prompt generation process. We will actually review with 4 of the models, Preview Mini, G4o, and 4o Mini. And the results that we have just looked at actually is the result of the meta prompting with multi-eval. So this will be an interesting exercise. We'll also learn quite a lot about evaluations using structured outputs. So we'll run this quickly, and then we'll begin reviewing the code. Now, before we run this, I just do want to mention this is from OpenAI's cookbooks, Enhance Your Prompts with Meta Prompting. I have improved this to include multiple evaluations from different models. I'll put the link to this in the description, as well as to my Patreon to download it for free. And if you're enjoying my content, do take a look at my website where you can find all my free projects. And if you're a patron, you will have access to the source code of all of them, over 350 projects. So check that out as well. Now let's actually go ahead and run the first meta prompting with eval and see how it works real quick. So this can cost quite a lot, especially with the multi-eval. I mean, the single run shouldn't cost too much at all. But we're going to just evaluate the 5 articles. We are using the dataset from Hugging Face. That is one of the requirements. So let's go ahead and run this real quick and see how it works. When we run it, we will actually retrieve the data set, and we will use the first 5 actually, to evaluate. We are first going to get an improved prompt from O1 Preview, and here is the improved prompt. And then we will generate summaries using the simple prompt plus the improved prompt. And then we will evaluate it, and we will, of course, review the code for this. And now we are evaluating the summaries. We are using the thread pool executor. You can also use async IO as well. Okay, we're almost done here. And now we are plotting the results. And as you can see, when we compare the two for the original prompt to the improved prompt, it shows improvement in all categories: categorization, keyword, sentiment, clarity, and completeness. Okay. So this is roughly how it works. And when we actually run the one with multi-eval, actually, let's switch this to 5 as well. So actually, let's switch to 3 so we can run through it quickly. So this one actually is going to do the exact same thing, but it's going to get, after loading the dataset, it's going to get an improved prompt from O1 Preview right now, and then O1 Mini here in a moment. Getting an improved from O1 Mini, it's going to do the same for 4.0 and then 4.0 Mini as well. Okay, after getting the improved prompts, we're going to generate summaries with the prompt, both with the simple prompt and prompt generated with each one of these models, and then we will evaluate these as well. And after the evaluation, we're going to plot them plus save them into a JSON file. Okay, so here are the plot results. So 3 is not a very good indicator, but as you can see, the results are that actually all 1 minute the best in completeness, but 3 articles is really not that, it's not that much. We can see the average scores for each for simple prompt, O1 Preview, O1 Mini, GPT-4o, and GPT-4o Mini. You can also see the summary results along with the simple prompt, which is just summarize this article, and the summaries and evaluations for each. And you can actually see the O1 Preview's improved prompt here. You can also see O1 Mini's improved prompt. So if you needed to take a look at these, GPT-4o, and as well as GPT-4o Mini, along with the summaries generated with those and their evaluations. So now let's go ahead and review the code, but don't forget to check out my website to find other interesting projects. And if you do become a patron, you'll have access to all the source code. But you can actually download this for free from my Patreon by becoming a free patron. Okay, if you look at the code, we are having our imports at the top, initializing our clients, and we just have a global variable right here, how many articles to evaluate. This is the simple prompt, summarize this news article. We just pass in the article. And the meta prompt, which is the most important part of this project, other than evaluation, is this. Improve the following prompt to generate a more detailed summary. Adhere to the prompt engineering best practices. Make sure the structure is clear, intuitive, and contains the type of news, tags, and sentiment analysis. And we pass in the simple prompt into it and ask it to only return prompt. Okay, so this is to improve the simple prompt. And as we have seen, it almost always works to generate better results, but different models' performances vary as well. Here is the evaluation prompt, which we are going to be using. You are an expert editor tasked with evaluating the quality of a news article summary. Below is the original article and the summary to be evaluated. We pass in the original article and then the summary. Please evaluate the summary based on the following criteria using a scale of 1 to 10 for categorization and context, keyword and tag extraction, sentiment analysis, clarity and structure, detail and completeness. Provide your scores and justifications for each criterion. So this is our system message. We will also define some Pydantic models because we will be using structured outputs, pretty much JSON outputs in a way, but structured outputs to returns Pydantic objects. This really simplifies your life if you want perfect structured outputs, because structured outputs is guaranteed to adhere to your schema. So we are defining the scorecard based on categorization and clarity and detail and so on and so forth, along with the justification, which is going to be a string. And we're going to get, this is our model, model response with O1 Preview to generate the actual improved prompt, and generate response using specified prompt. So these could be actually named better. Unfortunately, they are the way it is. Generate summaries is going to generate both simple and complex summaries for news articles. Here we are formatting the prompts to include the article content, because it's going to be a data frame row. So we're going to get a simple summary and a complex summary, return both, and we're going to evaluate both simple and complex summaries using the evaluation prompt here. We are again using string formatting here to input the article plus summary into the prompt so that they can be evaluated, both for the simple message and the complex messages, complex message being the improved prompt, evaluating the simple summary and evaluating complex summary. Essentially, they're the same calls. And now we're going to plot the results based on these these categories of evaluation. We're going to average the scores, and then we're just writing it to the data frame so we can plot it. And now the rest of it is to plot it. And in the main loop, we're going to load the data set for BBC News all time, and we are going to sample it by n based on how many articles to evaluate, and then get improved prompt using meta prompting. So we get the complex prompt, and then we're going to generate the summaries. We create a data frame using for the row simple summary and a complex summary, and then using the thread pool executor, we get the summaries, and then we again perform the simple create a data frame row for simple and complex evaluation using thread pool executor, get the evaluations, prepare the scores for plotting, and plot the results. So this is how the simple version of this works. And in the more complex version, it's pretty much the same thing, except we're going to have meta prompt models. You can specify any OpenAI model here. We are using only OpenAI. But if you were to use OpenRouter, for example, you can even use more models. Our prompts are the same, including the evaluation prompt. Nothing changed. Nothing changed about our Pydantic models. And evaluate the summaries here. Everything is the same, except we're going to actually pass. Nothing has changed for this actually. Okay, the get improved prompts changes because we're going to actually loop over the meta prompt models and get the improved prompts based on each one. And we are using TQDM, so that's why we were able to see the progress bar. So check out TQDM, it's actually pretty cool. And then we just plot the results, but we are just modifying that score dictionary is going to include this for each model. Okay, so we are just changing to include every model. And again, when we are saving the results, evaluations, we are going to loop through the model list and get the evaluation for each one. And again, same for the complex evaluations. And then essentially, we are again using the same variable to how many articles to evaluate. Everything else remains the same, except when we are running the thread pool executor. Now we are running it with each model that is in our meta prompt models dictionary. Okay, and when we are preparing the scores, we are doing the same to get the scores for each. So other than that, everything else remains the same except for when we are averaging it. Here we go. So this is pretty simple, and you can download it from my Patreon for free. Like I said, link will be in the description and the comment, and you can find more of my projects at my website at gohive.live. I also do have a cursor course which actually has over 27, currently over 18, 27 chapters. You can watch the first 2 chapters for free. You can find the link for this in the description and in the comment as well. You can preview each chapter for 2 minutes as well. I highly recommend this if you're serious about learning the code. And Cursor is the best. Cursor Code Editor is the best way to code, in my opinion. Unless something changes, there's a new tool becomes available, but Cursor is the OG of coding right now. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you'd like to get in touch with me one-on-one, I do have consulting tiers at my Patreon. Also, my architect members at my Patreon gets to talk to me every week in our weekly AMA meetings every Sunday. Link for that will be in the description of this video as well, and at my Patreon. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. And you can also check out the original cookbook. It's very informative. You can take a look at other examples there as well. It's very useful. Take care, everybody.